Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Alex Nakagawa, and I am a student team lead on the external pedagogy side of things at the Data Science Education program at UC Berkeley. I'm really excited to share with you all the work that our adoption team has done in helping undergraduate institutions adopt data science programs all across the country. In this video presentation, I'll be going over a couple of things. The first one being the adoption philosophy, which outlines our team's mission statement as well as the types of help that we provide to all institutions we are in close contact with. In order to get into close contact with those institutions, I'll be going over into the second point of this presentation, which is the outreach campaigns that we have implemented as well. The third one are the open source resources and publications that we've made available online for anybody who is interested in adopting data science on their own campuses. And finally is the California strategy, which is a new initiative that is coming in the near future, which we will go into. First, our team's philosophy. Our team's mission statement is to aid instructors in adopting data science curriculums and programs at their institutions. However, we see that the most important part of our mission statement is that we democratize education for all undergraduates. And what do I specifically mean by that? The Foundations of Data Science course at UC Berkeley, also known as Data 8, which you may have heard of, takes this really to heart. All undergraduates are eligible to take Data 8, no matter what the technical level of understanding or which department they may come from. This is the type of level of inclusion that we hope to reach in our mission statement. As we've helped universities and colleges across the United States adopt the Data 8 model into their curriculums, we've also found new interest in our other offerings in our data science education as well. This includes Data 100, which is the next class right after Data 8, Modules and Connectors, which are data-enabled courses across campus in different departments that really help ingrain the idea into undergraduates that data science is in every discipline. This includes disciplines such as history, legal studies, molecular cell and biology, etc., and many more. Finally, is our human context and ethics courses on campus, which provide a unique understanding of the ethics required in becoming a data scientist in our institutions. Besides course help, we've also helped many universities and colleges across the United States with infrastructure to run these courses. This includes Jupyter Hub deployments, which is an open source software developed by the Jupyter team here, and finally, auto grading as well. We're really excited to share the impact that our philosophy has had across the United States as of June of 2020. Roughly 34 institutions have adopted data science pedagogy from UC Berkeley, whether that's adopting the curriculum of Data 8, Data 100, or also just using our textbook within their own classes. 30 plus institutions are also currently in development of new data science undergraduate courses and are ready to teach these courses in the fall of 2020 and spring of 2021. We have over 220 professors in our community or practice network, and that continues to grow every day. I will go over a little bit as to what exactly this means later.
Thanks, Alex. Hey, everyone. My name's Amal. I'm also a student team lead for the Global Adoption team. Much of the reason why we're able to have such great success and such great impact is because of our thorough outreach campaigns. They're a combination of both inbound and outbound campaigns. Over the past few years, we've been talking to many data science professors around the country and around the world. We reached out to them as well as many other data science professors around the country who we haven't been in contact with. This led to us reaching out to more than 400 professors across 300 institutions from about 35 countries. Now, we reached out to community colleges, four-year universities, and high schools. And at the end of it, we've had more than 31 Zoom calls with different professors, department chairs, and faculty members. Over the past few years, by talking with professors across the country, many have decided to implement Data 8 at their own university. Now, because every university has a different situation where they have different course sizes, different infrastructure, different resources, different support, every course is a little bit different. So we're going to go over 4 different case studies of universities implementing Data 8. The first is UC San Diego, which is currently being taught by Professor Tippenbrook. Because UCSD is on a quarter system and Data 8 is on a semester-long system, Professor Tiffenberg had to remove certain parts of the semester-long system's curriculum to the quarter-long system's curriculum. This included classification, A/B testing, and inference regression. Now, in order to make the course more interesting and more engaging for her students, she implemented a technology called RICE. RICE integrates PowerPoint and Jupyter Notebooks so that you can present Jupyter Notebooks with the PowerPoint format. This is really powerful for really engaging students so that they're attentive and ready to learn. This other thing which UCSD has done is inspired by the data science package. They created their own package called Baby Pandas, which is a mix of data science and pandas. Our second case study is the US Naval Academy. This course is being taught by Professor William Travis and is much smaller course size, around 9 students. The course is being offered as a complement to the pure math and operations career tracks. So that way, if anyone's interested in those fields, they can take this course and it'll help them prepare for their path. In order to help students understand the concepts much better, Professor Travis incorporates different examples from other parts of the USNA curriculums, like military examples and scenario training. That way, when they're learning data science concepts, they're able to relate it with what else they know from their program. The USNA is very strict about not using cloud-based technologies and cloud-based services for their courses because it keeps them vulnerable. And because it's the USNA, they want to be as secure as possible. So that's what's really interesting about this course, where it was taught without a cloud. Our third example is Boise State University. This class is being taught by Professor Casey Kennington and has been taught for the past few years. What's really cool about them is that they're using a flipped classroom model, where in this case, students go home to learn from the textbook and they come to class to do practice through labs and homework. In order to expedite grading, they use OKPy, and they also use the data science package because Professor Kennington believes that it's a good way to introduce students with no previous coding background to coding, and it's a very good pedagogical angle. Our fourth example is San Jose City College. This class is being taught by Professor Sanjay Doreraj, and Professor Doreraj has been teaching this for the past few years. They also use the flipped classroom model, but at the community college level, and they have about 25 students within their program. The way they get students to enroll in their program is that they bundle it with an overall certificate program called the Tech Nest, which through the Tech Nest, students can take classes in IoT, entrepreneurship, and data science. In order to make the class more interesting, Professor uses different Kahoot quizzes and demos, and that way students are able to get that friendly competition edge when answering the questions, and they have a really good time when learning the material. Over the past few years, we've seen just how difficult it is for community colleges to implement data science at their community college. They face many different obstacles, and oftentimes they just don't have the resources needed to implement the data science program. So we led a separate campaign for community colleges to truly democratize the access to data science education, where we first reached out to about 170 professors across all the community colleges across the state of California, which is 115 of them. Through this, we've had conversations with them where we could really pinpoint the obstacles that they face. And through this conversation, by helping them and by spreading different resources, we've been able to help different community colleges start Data 8 at their respective college. These include El Camino College, as well as Pasadena City College, as well as about 20 others which are in the pipeline of developing Data 8 for their respective community college. Another way we're helping professors is by creating different resources and publications. These include both pedagogical resources as well as infrastructure-related resources. During our calls with different institutions for the past few months, we've been documenting their stories, especially the different Data 8 adoptee stories, and we've written articles about each of them. This is really helpful for if you're an institution and you're trying to create a program and you have a specific need or a specific requirement. For example, let's say you're a quarter system based university and you want to adopt Data 8, but because Data 8 is on the semester length and you're on the quarter length, you need some advice on what to do. Then you can look at the UCSD article because they're on the quarter length. Let's say that you don't want to use a Jupyter Hub to manage all your Jupyter notebooks. Rather, you just want to upload them to GitHub and teach your students GitHub through your course. Then you can look at the Urbana-Champaign article. This way, you're able to see all the different ways of how Data 8 has been adopted at various institutions and see the ones which best fits your needs. We've also launched a newsletter, which is sent out once every quarter, so about every 3 or 4 months, which updates you on the national community practice landscape for data science and different updates of what's happened within this ecosystem within those 3 or 4 months. When we first launched this newsletter, we sent it out to about 400 recipients, and it's been opened more than 900 times, which just shows its relevance and its necessity in this data science community. We've also centralized all the different resources that we've made onto a centralized portal. So that way you don't have to scour the internet for different needs for your data science course. For example, let's say you have a question about your course staff structure. You want to know how many different people you need on the course staff, the kind of roles and responsibilities. Well, we've written a guide about the Berkeley's Data 8 course staff, which includes roles, responsibilities, amount of time each role has usually puts in, as well as other information that could be necessary. This is really useful if you're trying to figure out the budget for your course staff. Another thing that we've done is we've created a guide called Jupyter Notebook Environment. Let's say you want to launch a server for your course, but you don't really know how you should do it. Instead of you having to scour the internet, once again, we've done that research for you, and we put it all into a document where we look at all the different server options that you should look at, and their as well as their advantages and disadvantages, their cost, and their optimal class size. Another thing that we've been doing is over the past few months during our calls with the professors, we've been documenting the different pain points that professors find, as well as other questions that they usually have. Odds are, if you have a question about adopting Data 8, they can probably be found in the Data 8 FAQ along with its answers. If you try going on the Berkeley's Data 8 page and try accessing the course materials, you probably won't be able to, and that's because that's restricted only to students with Berkeley access. But to overcome this problem, we've uploaded all of the different course materials, such as homeworks, labs, and projects, up onto a public GitHub repository so that you could go directly there and see exactly what our students are learning in Data 8. We've also created a 2-page document, a PDF document that outlines all the different services and resources and guides that we've made, including the ones which we've talked about here, but also other ones like auto grading, which is really, really important and really helpful for your course.
Thank you, Amal. As many of you are already aware of, and as many of you are already a part of, there is a community of roughly 215 to 220 professors and educators who are sharing resources and discussing new strategies on how to bring the data science education onto their campuses. It's a growing community, and you can be the first to get updates on all program changes as well as connect with other professors if you join. The URL is linked right here. It's tinyurl.com/data-science-community to join. We understand that there are tons of considerations that instructors and professors have to go through in order to get a data science course onto their campuses. You may be aware of the phrase 0 to Data 8, which was a moniker for our old technological and pedagogical guide on going from 0 to a new data science course. However, that guide in particular was a little too convoluted, and we got really useful feedback on how to make it a better experience for everybody. We've decided to create 2 new guides, one specifically for technical infrastructure on the left, and on the right, there is one specific for pedagogy, which is the old 0 to Data 8 guide, but now newly adopted to specifically focus on the pedagogical considerations that instructors go through. As a small side note, along with the excitement that our team has had in fielding all the requests for all the data science materials for their personal data science courses on their campuses, it came with a couple of technological challenges on our end. Internally, we decided to create a database that would include data such as the institutions that have contacted us, as well as their level of status in bringing data science to the undergraduate level. This also includes doing our own research in degree programs, which was really helpful when we did our reach out and campaign reach outs, as previously mentioned. Some of the features of the database include the fast lookup of names and specific numbers, as well as some internal statistics done by automated scripting, which is currently in progress.
By working on this project over the past few years, we've seen that there are a lot of different data science initiatives that are happening across the state of California, but they're a little unorganized and it's a little scattered. In order to streamline this process and create a really cohesive data science environment for instructors, we propose creating the California strategy. And it's something which we've been working on and will continue to work on in the near future. The goal is creating the statewide coalition amongst different academics, companies, as well as the government to support and fund data science education. This includes creating a membership of schools across the UC system, CSUs, and community colleges, as well as Jupyter Hub for infrastructure. This is something that we really believe can really help streamline the process and overall environment for data science education at the CC, CSUs, and UC level.
And that concludes our presentation on the adoption side of things. We want to thank all the viewers again for tuning in amidst the current climate, and we hope that you are all staying very safe. We'd love to keep in touch with you. Our email is listed here, ds-help@berkeley.edu. If you've emailed that email in the past, you've probably gotten an email response from one of these amazing people on our student team here. And so I want to give them a very special thank you and to acknowledge them. And of course, last but not least, our fearless leaders of the Data Science Education Program, Dr. Eric Van Dusen, Anthony Suen, as well as our student team lead, Alan Liang, for all the support that they've given us throughout the entire year to be able to carry out our mission statement. And so, again, a special thank you to everybody on this slide, and a special thank you to you, the viewer, for tuning in. And I highly encourage you to check out the other videos in the National Workshop, as well as attend some of the live events as well. And we'd love to see you there, and I'll definitely see you there as well. And so thank you again for tuning in, and enjoy the rest of the workshop.